Welcome to another video of Careers Express, brought to you by the Cyprus Mail, where job seekers and professionals can stay up to date with what matters most in our world of work. Today, we will look at the experienced professionals, people in their 50s and older, and the challenge they are currently facing in the job market. Joining me for our discussion is Senior HR Executive Tina Kafandari. Tina is an ambitious and passionate professional with experience and knowledge in strategic and operative HR in several industries. She is also a certified life and executive coach. Tina, welcome. It's great to have you with us again.
Hello, thank you very much, Elizabeth, for the invitation, and thank you for this opportunity. I'm glad to be here as well, and looking forward to have this very interesting discussion about this topic. Thank you again.
So, experienced job seekers in recent years are finding difficulties in getting hired to remain in the workforce. How difficult is it for experienced professionals to find a job these days?
Well, I would say very, very difficult, Elizabeth, unfortunately. Here in Greece, the experience is not very positive. I think well, my opinion is that a very, very small percentage of this experienced professional do manage and finally get a job. It's very, very difficult. I would say that the doors are closed to these professionals aged 50, between 50 and 60,
Right.
unfortunately. So I recently had this experience myself, and I found it very, very difficult, actually, almost impossible.
What are the main challenges? I mean, what do you think it's really a barrier to experienced professionals to find a job these days?
Well, I would say there is, as is in other issues as well, in regarding age, there is also a bias from the companies, from the employers, and this is very important. That employers are very biased against this group of people. 50 to 60. One challenge, I would say, that is the ability that these people have to perform as the company would expect. The more junior profiles, 25, 28, 30, 35, there is this perception that these people are very, very motivated, they're very alive, they have a very high stamina, they have dreams, they have goals, professional goals, they have motivation, they have willingness to work a lot, many hours, and to progress upon the career ladder in the company they work. On the contrary, the group of the people aged 50, 60, there is this perception that, okay, what professional goal can a 55, 56, 57 years old a person can have? What professional goal, what motivation? I mean, in 5 years, this person should be retired. So why should I hire him, her? He will retire. I don't expect that this person will have a willingness and motivation to work as I would like to work for me as a company. They don't have the strength, the stamina to work 8 or more hours and to commit, to devote and commit their life and themselves to the work. So automatically, let's say, because of these reasons, the door is closed group of people that I think, for sure, in my opinion, it is very, very wrong. Okay. Yeah.
Do you see any difference between the genders within this age group? Do you think
Yes.
any, gender have more chance in getting a job within this age group than the other?
Yes, there is, there is higher chance, yes, for men rather than women. But again, I think it is very difficult for men as well. The chances are higher, a bit higher, but still remains the fact that also men at this group of age do face difficulties.
Okay. Any other challenges that you could highlight and mention?
I would say the salary expectations. Okay, you can accept the company, an employer can expect that a person 50, 55 with many years of experience should have high salary expectations that probably the company cannot support, cannot give probably this compensation package. On the other hand, we know that, and this is also the feeling, the perception I have, that the years have, the time has passed, things have changed and are constantly changing, and the salary ranges are not the same as used to be some years ago. Before the financial crisis. So most of the people, I mean, professionals do expect that their compensation will not be the same as used to be years ago. So they are prepared, okay, and that probably if hopefully there is a job offer, they're prepared that the package would be lower, and I think that they are okay with that in the end, because they have to be adjusted to the new reality. We all do have to adjust.
Okay.
So yes, salary expectations is let's say, yes, one of the challenges, I would say. Yes.
Yes. And how can employers tackle these challenges, especially if we mention the perception and the mindset change?
Well, we know that to change a mindset is not an easy thing. It's very, very difficult. Yeah, we have to all the time try to change the way people think and the way people act. So it's not easy at all. It requires a lot of persistence, and it requires also a lot of work to do something like that. Maybe from also the HR community can do something regarding this, and to try to change the employer's mindset. There are groups. For example, I know that there is a club for the leaders, for the managers, a managers club, directors and senior managers club, that can help probably with this. I mean, there are people, and I mean, trainers, HR people, executive coaches, a lot of them that could play a vital role in this, trying to contact, to communicate with the leaders, with the CEOs, the number one of the company, and try to change the way they're thinking.
So are you seeing any of these groups like the 50s and over or 60s and over who are coming back from retirement at all within the community, or not? Because there is this trend globally where retirees are coming back to work. So what can you see? Do you see this trend coming to our region as well?
Well, I haven't seen that, to be honest, in the Greek market. Not, at least not as of now. Maybe there will be, because things change every minute.
Right.
What I see is that, from my experience, that people are looking forward to get their retirement, and stop working, and reach the age where when they can start, the retirement cycle, and start being paid monthly their retiring amount. This is my perception, that the
Yes.
probably because they're maybe disappointed from the employment situation in Greece, the difficulties they face in the employment arena, and the not so positive, circumstances in the employment world.
Yes. There is, though, a big question due to the aging of the population, and the zero growth of population, where we're seeing, and people are talking and also thinking about whether the retirement at the age of 65 is really becoming a reality or not. Well, of course, this is a big discussion that we can take on maybe in our next video.
Well, this would be a very hopeful message, actually, because I hope this will happen, and maybe it will, because we don't know things. We face constantly many changes in all areas, so we don't know. Maybe it will happen.
Either way, hiring professionals have benefits. Can you give us some of the benefits of hiring experienced professionals?
Well, it is obvious. It's what the word says: experienced professionals. This is the key word. They have experience. These people can bring a lot of benefit for the company. They bring knowledge. They bring experience. They bring maturity. They know how to handle difficult situations. They know how to talk with senior management. They know how to contact, senior leadership. And this is very important. And they know they're mature. They know how to handle a crisis. If we compare this with the more junior people, they do have, of course, the motivation and the stamina and so on, but they lack, of course, the experience. They are not mature enough. So this is the diversity and inclusion culture that I think that employers, companies have to include. This culture, have to implement this, because it brings, for sure, it brings innovation, it brings development. Because you combine in your workforce, you have people junior, you have people experienced, so you take advantage of the high motivation, of the stamina, and you take advantage also of the knowledge, of the maturity, of the experience. So if you combine these two, you can only have a benefit, only that, and you win out of this.
Okay, so before we go, do you have any final thoughts to share?
Any final thoughts to share? Well, well, I think that it's not. It's a big shame, not to be given the opportunity to the people at this group, 50 and 60. They're not given the opportunity to show that they are still in the professional arena, and they are still alive, let's say, and they're very willing to continue and do miracles with their careers. Okay. Also, what I would like to add is that maybe some people do not believe in this, but I do strongly believe that the age is only a number. okay, is only a number. What counts is how each person of us is feeling. You may be 60 years old and you feel like, let's say, 40. Okay, you still want to do many things. Life is not ending at 60 years old. Yeah, I mean, if you are healthy and you are in a good shape, you still can do many things. And I do know examples and do know people that are even 70 or 75 years old and they're still working and they're doing miracles with their work because they love what they do. Of course, they're in a very good physical and healthy, good health situation. Of course, this is number one prerequisite for all of us, but they love what they do and they still offer at 75 years, they offer a lot of things at their profession, and this is very good for the community in total, in the whole. You know, imagine these people continue offer things in their profession. That's very good. We employers, companies have to take advantage of that because it's very useful. It's very important.
Yes, excellent. Finally, where can people find you?
Well, okay. First, social media, the LinkedIn, which is very known to everybody. They can reach me there. My name is Tina Kafandaris, Latin words, so they can very easily reach me there. And I'm more than willing to have discussion or reply to any questions they may have, or even start a discussion on this. This is a very hot topic. And I know that the LinkedIn quite often, you know, there are the people, colleagues that do raise this issue, and it's very good, you know, to sharing and participate in this discussion and sharing ideas and thoughts.
Tina, thanks so much for sharing this valuable
Thank you
insight.
too.
We look forward to our next discussion together.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth, too, and I wish all the best for the next in everything you do.
Thanks. Thanks also to you, our Careers Express viewers, for joining us. If you found this video useful, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel, and follow us on our social media as well. See you in a new video very soon.